911 location of your emergency.
Something is happening. Something happened in our house. We don't know what.
What is the address of the emergency?
1122.
And tell me exactly what's going on.
One of the roommates has passed out, and she was drunk last night, and she's not waking up.
Okay.
Oh, and I saw some man in their house last night.
Pretty much, they were in the main room. I heard the dancing and laughing. Kaylee went upstairs, and she screamed because someone was in the room. She ran downstairs, and I kept calling her name, and she wouldn't answer. And then I saw the guy, and I just walked the door, and I ran downstairs. But we don't know what's going on.
On November 13th, 2022, the quiet college town of Moscow, Idaho, was shattered by one of the most brutal crimes in its history. 4 University of Idaho students were found stabbed to death in their off-campus home, launching a massive investigation that would captivate the nation and expose the disturbing behavior of their killer, a criminology Ph.D. student named Bryan Kohberger. The victims were living their normal college lives that Saturday night. Madison Mogen, 21, and Kaylee Goncalves, 21, best friends since childhood, went to a local sports bar called the Corner Club before stopping at a food truck downtown. Meanwhile, Xana Kernodle, 20, and her boyfriend Ethan Chapin, 20, attended a party at Chapin's Sigma Chi fraternity house.
Chilling new details about the night Bryan Kohberger entered an off-campus house in Moscow, Idaho, and began a brutal rampage that left 4 college students dead.
Between 4 a.m. and 4:25 a.m., investigators believe all 4 murders occurred. Kernodle had just received a DoorDash order and was active on TikTok at 4:12 a.m. when the killer struck. The attack was swift and brutal. All victims were stabbed multiple times with what investigators believed was a large fixed-blade knife. The most chilling details come from newly released body camera footage and police interviews with Dylan Mortensen, one of the surviving roommates. Her testimony reveals the terrifying moments as the killer moved through their home. Mortensen, sleeping on the 2nd floor, was awakened around 4 a.m. by Kaylee going upstairs to her 3rd-floor room with Murphy the dog. Then she heard Kaylee scream and run back downstairs, yelling, "Someone's here!" Mortensen called out to Kaylee but got no response, so she locked her door in fear.
She ran downstairs?
Yeah, you can hear everything. If you're watching, I heard her run downstairs really fast. And then I heard Murphy barking a lot.
From her room, Mortensen could hear sobbing, and then an unfamiliar male voice with a weird tone saying, "You're going to be okay. I'm going to help you." She tried calling Kaylee, Xana, and Maddie on her phone, but no one answered. When she opened her door to look, she saw a figure in all black clothing with a mask covering his forehead and mouth. The man was about 6 feet tall with a skinny basketball player build. He looked directly at her but didn't approach or speak, instead walking toward the kitchen's sliding glass door to exit.
I heard her going to I think it was the bathroom, and I remember her sobbing, and I remember hearing this guy's voice that I didn't recognize saying, "You're gonna be okay, I'm gonna help you," but it wasn't like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, it wasn't in like a nice way, it was like a weird way, like a weird tone.
You're gonna be okay. I'm gonna help you.
Yeah.
Hours passed in confusion and fear. Both surviving roommates woke up late that morning around 9 to 10 a.m. and found it strange that none of their roommates were responding to calls or texts. By 11:58 a.m., concerned friends had been called over to check on the situation. The body camera footage captures the chaos that followed when one friend discovered the bodies. In the 911 call, a female voice reported one of the roommates who's passed out and she was drunk last night and she's not waking up. The caller added, "They saw a man in their house last night."
Plus, reports that a witness overheard someone saying during the murders, quote, "It's okay, Kaylee, I'm here for you." Investigators interviewed a friend of the female victims, a woman who used to live in the same King Road house, said, quote, she heard Goncalves was walking her dog once and had seen somebody hiding behind a garbage dumpster. Goncalves felt that somebody had been watching her, and this was about a month prior to those homicides.
These weren't just statistics. They were young people with bright futures ahead of them. Kaylee Goncalves was set to graduate early and had already secured a job with an IT firm in Texas. Madison Mogen, her best friend since 6th grade, was studying marketing and planned to move to Boise after graduation. Xana Kernodle was a junior also studying marketing, working part-time at a local restaurant. Ethan Chapin, a sophomore studying recreation and tourism management, was visiting his girlfriend Xana that night.
Guy on the back porch playing music, okay? So
I sincerely apologize about that. I'm just going to bed.
Okay. So, just so you understand, you could be getting a misdemeanor citation for this, which means you have to go in front of a judge and explain why you couldn't keep the people in your house quiet. Okay? We've already talked to Maddie once and told her the same thing. Okay? The only reason she's not getting a ticket is because she's not standing here in front of me. But I'm telling you right now, if we have to come back, you're getting a ticket.
Okay, so
you will have to go see a judge.
I'm fine right now.
You're not getting a ticket right now?
I'm just trying to go to bed right now. I mean, I understand you guys. You're coming here. I'm just going to bed.
Okay. Well, understand that you're responsible for the residents. Okay. So whoever else is here, if they have a safe way to get home, you need to kick them out. Or tell them to come inside and be quiet.
Police body camera footage and interviews reveal their final hours were typical of college students. They had attended a formal event 2 days earlier with no incidents. That Saturday night they were out with friends, came home around 2 a.m., and the house seemed normal until the killer struck. When police arrived that afternoon, they initially told the community there was no ongoing threat. Within days, they had to walk back that statement as it became clear a killer was on the loose. The small town of Moscow, which hadn't seen a murder since 2015, was gripped with fear.
For the first time, a chilling look inside the off-campus home where the 4 University of Idaho students were killed in 2022. The house frozen in time, signs of a party, dishes still in the sink. These newly released crime scene photos, some blurred by police, reveal both a typical college life and the horrifying signs of struggle from when Bryan Kohberger killed Madison Mogen, Kaylee Goncalves, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin. Here, blood on the floor, on a door, and on bed sheets. This image showing 2 handprints on the window, and this one, the open glass door, believed to be where Kohberger entered the home.
The investigation was massive. Nearly 130 law enforcement personnel worked the case, processing over 15,000 tips from the public. Early on, investigators focused on a white Hyundai Elantra that surveillance cameras had captured making multiple passes by the house around the time of the murders. The breakthrough came from forensic evidence left at the scene, a tan leather K-bar knife sheath found on Madison's bed. DNA extracted from the sheath didn't match anyone in law enforcement databases, so investigators turned to genealogical DNA analysis.
You've heard the plea agreement that I talked about today. Do you agree with that plea agreement?
Yes.
And do you understand the nature of the charges that you've been charged with that I understand you're going to plead guilty today to?
Yes.
As I indicated, I'm not bound by the plea agreement, but the plea agreement is for the maximum on each count. Do you understand that I'm not bound by the plea agreement?
Yes.
Has anyone promised you that I would be lenient or easy on you if you pled guilty?
No.
Has anyone threatened you or anyone close to you to get you to plead guilty?
No.
Has anyone, other than the state's agreements with respect to the plea agreement, has anyone promised you anything in exchange for your plea agreement?
No.
Has anyone told you to be untruthful in answering my questions today?
No.
Has anyone offered you a reward of any kind other than the plea agreement in order to get you to plead guilty today?
No.
Are you pleading guilty because you are guilty?
Yes.
And counsel, obviously there have been a number of motions filed to suppress evidence in this case. Other than those filed, are there any other motions that you felt were available with respect to Rule 12?
No, Your Honor.
And Mr. Kohberger, you understand that by entering the guilty plea in this case, you would be giving up your right to appeal any decision this court made, as well as your sentence?
Yes.
You had enough time to decide whether or not to plead guilty?
Yes.
Are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes.
Given your choices, do you believe it's in your best interest to plead guilty?
Yes.
Have you discussed fully the matter of pleading guilty with your attorney, and are you satisfied with the advice you've received?
Yes.
Working through ancestry websites, they eventually identified Bryan Christopher Kohberger, a 28-year-old Ph.D. student in criminology at Washington State University, just 10 miles from Moscow. His white Hyundai Elantra matched the suspect vehicle, and his cell phone data showed his phone disconnecting from the network around 2:47 a.m. on the night of the murders, then reconnecting at 4:48 a.m. on a highway heading back toward his university. Before his arrest, newly released police documents reveal Kohberger had developed a disturbing reputation at Washington State University. Fellow graduate students and faculty described him as sexist, creepy, and potentially dangerous. One faculty member was so concerned that she told colleagues, "Mark my word, I work with predators. If we give him a Ph.D., that's the guy that in that many years when he is a professor, we will hear is harassing, stalking, and sexually abusing his students." One particularly chilling detail emerged. About 3 weeks after the murders, Kohberger told a fellow Ph.D. student that whoever committed the crimes must have been pretty good, and suggested it might be a one-and-done type thing. On December 30th, 2022, nearly 7 weeks after the murders, Pennsylvania State Police arrested Kohberger at his parents' home. He was found in the kitchen wearing surgical gloves and separating trash into Ziploc bags. Behavior authorities found suspicious. Initially facing the death penalty, Kohberger's case took an unexpected turn in July 2025. Rather than proceed to what would have been a highly publicized trial, he accepted a plea deal. On July 2, 2025, he pleaded guilty to all charges, confirming with a simple yes when asked if he killed each victim willingly, unlawfully, deliberately, and with premeditation. On July 23, 2025, Judge Stephen Hippler sentenced Kohberger to 4 consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole, plus an additional 10 years for burglary. The judge called him the worst of the worst, noting that even in pleading guilty, Kohberger showed no remorse or recognition of the pain he caused. The sentencing hearing was particularly emotional, with surviving roommate Dylan Mortensen describing how the trauma shattered her ability to trust the world. "I was barely 19 when he did this," she said through tears. "What he did shattered me in places I didn't know could break." Kaylee's father, Steve Goncalves, addressed Kohberger directly. "Today, you've lost control. The world is watching because of the kids, not because of you. Nobody cares about you." Despite the conviction and life sentence, one crucial question remains unanswered. Why? Kohberger has never explained his motive for the brutal killings. He had no apparent prior connection to the victims, making this a planned attack on strangers. Perhaps the most chilling aspect of all, the house where the murders occurred has since been demolished, replaced by a memorial garden honoring the victims. The University of Idaho awarded posthumous degrees to all 4 students, and scholarships have been established in their names. If you found this deep dive into one of America's most shocking recent crimes informative, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more true crime content. Your support helps us continue bringing you detailed coverage of the cases that shape our understanding of criminal behavior.